Britney Spears honestly came from the most unexpected place to become the biggest pop star of an entire generation. She was born Britney Jean Spears on December 2nd, 1981 in Macomb, Mississippi, but raised in tiny Kentwood, Louisiana. She is now 44 years old. Her parents, Jamie and Lynn Spears, had 3 kids, and Britney was the middle one. She started singing at her local church at just 4 years old. By age 8, she was already auditioning for Disney's all-new Mickey Mouse Club, but producers said she was too young at the time and sent her to New York for training. In 1991, she appeared in the off-Broadway show Ruthless as understudy for the lead. In 1992, she was a contestant on Star Search. Then, finally, in December 1992, she got cast on Mickey Mouse Club alongside future stars Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, J.C. Chasez, Kerry Russell, and Ryan Gosling. When the show got canceled in 1994, she went back to Mississippi. She was honestly just a Southern girl with a wild dream. Britney Spears released Baby One More Time on January 12, 1999, and the whole world basically stopped to watch. She was just 17 years old at the time. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and stayed there for 6 straight weeks. The title single, Baby One More Time, hit number 1 on the Hot 100. The schoolgirl outfit music video became iconic instantly. The album eventually got certified 14 times platinum by the RIAA. Guinness World Records officially confirmed Britney had sold an unprecedented 37 million records around the world before turning 20, calling it a record for any solo teenage artist. By May 16, 2000, she released Oops, I Did It Again, which sold negative 16,319,193 copies in its first week alone in the US, setting another female solo artist record. Britney was no longer just a pop singer. She was a global phenomenon at 18 years old. Honestly, nobody has touched that kind of teenage pop dominance since. The early Britney era was straight up unstoppable. Britney Spears in the early 2000s became the undisputed queen of pop, with iconic moments that still get talked about today. Her September 7, 2000 MTV VMAs performance of Oops featured the famous striptease moment and the Satisfaction cover. Then on September 6, 2001, she performed I'm a Slave for You at the VMAs with a 7-foot albino python on her neck. The python was named Banana. Banana literally became famous. On November 6, 2001, she dropped her 3rd album, simply called Britney. In early 2001, she signed a massive multi-million-dollar Pepsi endorsement deal. On February 15, 2002, her movie debut Crossroads released, written by Shonda Rhimes, and grossed around $61.7 million worldwide on just a $12 million budget, despite brutal reviews. Then came August 28, 2003, when she shared that legendary onstage moment with Madonna and Christina Aguilera at the VMAs. November 18, 2003 brought In the Zone with Toxic. Britney basically ran pop culture for half a decade. Untouchable era. The kind of dominance that genuinely will not happen again. Britney Spears marrying Kevin Federline in 2004 changed the entire trajectory of her life, and most people now realize it was the beginning of her downfall. But first, there was the wild Vegas moment. On January 3, 2004, at around 5:30 in the morning, a 22-year-old Britney married her childhood friend Jason Allen Alexander at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas. The marriage was annulled just 55 hours later, with the official annulment saying Britney lacked understanding of her actions. Yikes. Then, in July 2004, she announced her engagement to backup dancer Kevin Federline. They had a wedding ceremony on September 18, 2004, at a Studio City home, though the marriage only became legally valid on October 6, 2004, after the prenup got finalized. Kevin was 26, Britney was 22. Their son, Sean Preston Federline, was born September 14, 2005. Their second son, Jaden James Federline, arrived September 12, 2006, just 1 year apart. On November 7, 2006, Britney filed for divorce. The marriage was officially over by July 30th, 2007. The unraveling had just begun. Britney Spears having her famous 2007 public breakdown is honestly one of the most heartbreaking celebrity moments ever documented. After her divorce from Kevin Federline, Britney struggled massively. In January 2007, her beloved aunt passed away from illness, which Britney later said contributed to her struggles. Then came February 16, 2007. Britney walked into a Tarzana, California hair salon and shaved her own head in front of paparazzi who were filming the entire entire thing. She also got a tattoo that same evening. 5 days later, on February 21st, 2007, she attacked a paparazzo's SUV with an umbrella in another now infamous moment. Britney was just 25 years old at the time. She was clearly going through something massive, and the world treated it like entertainment. The paparazzi swarms were relentless. Tabloids ran cruel covers daily. On September 9th, 2007, she gave the widely panned Gimme More comeback performance opening the MTV VMAs that critics destroyed. On October 16, 2007, Judge Scott M. Gordon ordered sole physical custody of her sons to Kevin Federline. Everything was falling apart in real time. Britney Spears getting put under conservatorship in 2008 is honestly the most controversial chapter of her whole life. On January 3, 2008, she was placed on a 5150 involuntary psychiatric hold after barricading herself in a bathroom with her son Jaden and refusing to release custody. She was taken to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Then, on January 31, 2008, she was placed on a second 5150 hold, this time transported by a massive police motorcade to UCLA Medical Center. The very next day, February 16, 2008, Commissioner Reva Getz granted Britney's father, Jamie Spears, a temporary emergency conservatorship over her person and her estate, with attorney Andrew M. Wallet as co-conservator. It was supposed to last just days. On October 28, 2008, Commissioner Getz extended the conservatorship indefinitely. Britney was 26. Her own father now legally controlled her life, her money, and her career decisions. Despite all of that, she kept working. On December 2nd, 2008, she released her sixth album, Circus, on her 27th birthday. The lead single, Womanizer, hit #1. She was somehow still performing. Britney Spears continuing to work through her conservatorship was honestly incredible, considering she had zero control over anything. On March 25th, 2011, she dropped her seventh album, Femme Fatale, which debuted at #1. Its single, Hold It Against Me, debuted at #1 on the Hot 100 too. In 2012, she served as a judge on the X Factor US, reportedly earning $15 million. Then she announced her Las Vegas residency, Britney Piece of Me, on Good Morning America on September 17, 2013. The residency opened on December 27, 2013 at Planet Hollywood. By the time it ended on December 31, 2017, the show had grossed $137.7 million from 916,184 tickets sold across 248 shows. She also released her ninth album, Glory, on August 26, 2016. But behind the scenes, things were getting darker. In November 2017, fans Tess Barker and Barbara Gray launched the Britney's Gram podcast, which became one of the origin points of the entire #FreeBritney movement. Fans started noticing concerning patterns. The conservatorship was reportedly suffocating her despite the success. Britney Spears finally winning her freedom back in 2021 was one of the most powerful celebrity moments in recent memory. The push really started with the February 5th, 2021 documentary, The New York Times Presents, Framing Britney Spears, which premiered on FX and Hulu. The film reignited the entire #FreeBritney movement globally. Then, on June 23, 2021, Britney delivered explosive public court testimony, calling the conservatorship abusive and famously saying, "I just want my life back." The whole world heard her speak for herself for the first time in years. On July 14, 2021, Judge Brenda Penny granted Britney the right to hire her own attorney, and she chose Matthew Rosengart. Things moved fast after that. On September 7, 2021, Jamie Spears himself filed to end the conservatorship. On September 29, 2021, Judge Penny officially suspended Jamie Spears as conservator. Then finally, on November 12, 2021, Judge Brenda Penny terminated the conservatorship completely after 13 long years. Britney was 39 years old and free for the first time since age 26. Honestly, the longest captivity in modern pop history. Britney Spears in 2026 is honestly still struggling, and the receipts are concerning. After her conservatorship ended, things moved fast. She signed a $15 million book deal with Simon & Schuster on February 21, 2022. She married personal trainer Sam Ashgari on June 9, 2022 at her LA home. Her first husband, Jason Alexander, actually got arrested for trespassing at her property that same day. On October 24, 2023, her memoir, The Woman in Me, released and sold negative 16 million copies in its first US week alone. By December 2025, it had sold over 3 million copies in the US. but the relationships have not lasted. Sam Ashgari filed for divorce on August 17, 2023. The divorce was finalized May 2024 and officially ended December 2, 2024 on Britney's 43rd birthday. Then on December 30th, 2025, she sold her entire music catalog rights to Primary Wave for a reported $200 million. On March 4th, 2026, she was arrested in Westlake Village on suspicion of DUI. She entered rehab in April 2026. On May 4th, 2026, she pleaded guilty to a reduced reckless driving charge. The fall continues.